Liberal Democrat spokesperson Monica Harding.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. President Trump's proposals for the forced displacement of Gaza's 2.2 million inhabitants would constitute a grave violation of international law, threatens the fragile ceasefire and the return of the hostages. Will the Minister condemn them? Mr. Speaker, the Palestinian people have a right to self-determination and to a state of their own, as has been British policy for decades. So will the government now finally commit to an immediate recognition of a Palestinian state along the 1967 borders? The welcome ceasefire has given us the opportunity to flood Gaza with aid, but the freeze to US aid funding is reportedly impacting the humanitarian response as NGOs are forced to lay off aid workers. So will the Minister share what the impact has been on the humanitarian response in Gaza, including British-funded programmes, and what conversations is the government having with our American partners to persuade them that abolishing US aid would be a dire mistake?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'm grateful to the Honourable Lady for the important points that she has raised. Mr. Speaker, the UK's position on the right to return could not be clearer. I quoted previously the Prime Minister's remarks on this, which were most definitely in strong relief that Palestinians who are going back to their homes and communities in Gaza must be allowed home, they must be allowed to rebuild, and of course that is in line with international law, Mr. Speaker, so there's no doubt about the UK's position on this whatsoever. She asked about the position on recognition, Mr. Speaker. I responded to that when it came to the words of my honourable friend who raised this urgent question. The UK has been clear around this, that we believe that it is important that both Palestinians and Israelis are able to have sovereignty that is required for them, able to have security that is necessary in order to live in peace, and we will ensure that the UK's decision around this on recognition is a contribution to the process towards a two-state solution that we desperately need to see. And finally, Mr. Speaker, she asked about US aid, and I was very grateful to her and other members in the room for coming to a briefing that we undertook yesterday with the Minister for the Middle East, where we covered this matter as well. So we obviously, as the UK, note the US decision to pause foreign aid funding for 3 months pending a review. Of course, there has been a lot of commentary around this. This is a fast-moving situation, but it's one that we are monitoring very closely indeed, as she would expect. Of course, this is a matter for the United States. We are very clear as the UK, Mr. Speaker, that we must continue to do what we can to support people in Gaza, that we must provide that life-sustaining support, that we must work with a whole range of partners on this, and we will continue to do so. Thank you.
Phil Brittle.